I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
On today's episode of 1 Minute Reaction to Fire Force, episode 12, Eve of the Hostilities in Asuka. It has been what felt like ages since the last Fire Force episode. Fridays have just felt empty. Yes, we've had the gloriness that is Dr. Stone, but we've lost Accelerator and Fire Force, took an impromptu break, but coming back, I've realized something. I love this series. Not only that, it has probably one of the best intro songs I have ever fucking heard. It just gets me so pumped. And that emotional high carries over to today's episode. I was not expecting them to return, and we get a badass battle. Whew, my heart is still pounding. Anyways, last we left off, the 8th is trying to uncover the truth behind the Evangelists, which eventually led them to the jurisdiction of the 7th. In charge of that, Fire Force Company 7, captained by Benimaru Shinmon, the most powerful Fire Force soldier. A compound soldier with both qualities of a 2nd and 3rd generation. In the last episode, we saw him defeat a neighbor turned infernal, literally destroying half the city in a spectacular event which is almost like a ceremony of life in Asuka, because unlike the other districts, this area is very traditional. They don't even utilize the power of Amaterasu, and we come to find out this is the main reason that Iris stayed behind. They call them proto-nationalists, which is very country origin. They believe in the old empire, not this new one, and she's part of the new religion. Since the government and religion are so intertwined, she's the new, they're the old, and they didn't want to cause any undue waves. And this would just hurt their chance trying to, broker a peace deal, a treaty. Hey, we're here to help. We're here to solve this mystery of the Evangelists, the Whiteclads, the Infernals. We want to solve this fucking crisis and get it over with. We just need your help. I mean, they even try to help repairs after this dazzling display of how powerful this captain is. And this is actually starting to work. Yes, Benimaru, with a little nudge from Conroe, is going to give the 8th the benefit of the doubt and wants to go talk to Captain Obi and see what he can do to help. So let's say the investigation is finally underway until the entirety of all the work they put in is now being unraveled due to a nefarious scheme hatched by the Whiteclads. Yes, in a case of mistaken identity / foolery, somehow the Whiteclads are able to mimic the appearance and the sound of both Captain Obi and Lieutenant Takehise. And I gotta say, the conversation that they're having when Benimaru walks in on them is fucking dark. The Whiteclads are framing the captain and lieutenant, the entirety of the 8th, for turning that dude into an infernal. This sends Benimaru into a fucking rage, and this is where we get today's best part, the battle between Benimaru and basically the entirety of the 8th, and he is just, again, he is a monster. I figured the best person to take him on is going to be Maki. At least she can control flames, but even when she tries to dispel his giant fucking ball of fire, he is able to remanipulate the leftover flames and still do explosion. Soon takes her out and Shinra. Then it's up to Takehise and Arthur and Maki, and they all just go a barrage of attacks, yet he is just dispelling them one after another, doing some amazing moves like an invisible slash attack. It's just, he is just OP as shit. Where's Obi through this? Well, the little twin girls say he's running away, but no, he's got to get geared up, because now to end out this battle, it's Captain versus Captain mano a mano, and what we see is just Obi being Obi and just does a wonderful job. He's taking these hits, taking a face full of fire, and Benimaru is just completely shocked. Why are you just taking these shots head on? Dude, I can't do any of that. I don't have any fucking powers. And this just shocks him. It also shocks Shinra. Like, Shinra, you should know your captain by now. He has no powers, but he's still fucking OP. You've had a couple battles with him so far. Takehise, he knows what's going on. What, you think our captain was weak? He's the captain of a fire force, in charge of the lives, the entirety of his crew. You think he's gonna go down without a fight? And what we see is just a back and forth battle, and then finally, the only one that with no powers, all right, finally gets a hit on the monster that is Benimaru, but this is still not enough to take him down. He's going in for this end-all, be-all attack, this lie hand sword, 7th form, taking on the image of a sun. Luckily, though, Conroe is there to stop him, knock some senses into him. Hey, what are you doing? But unfortunately, what we learned earlier in the episode is Conroe had exceeded his limitations for his ability, and his body is starting to burn out. Yes, this is an actual weakness for the Fire Force people. I thought maybe it's just their oxygen. No, there is a limit to their power. Lung capacity and oxygen absorption can only take you so far. There is a capacity, and when you go past that, basically your body is going to turn to ash. But Conroe steps in and he uses his ability. This ends the battle. But still, Benimaru is very reluctant. He believes in what he saw. Let's face it, those two dudes looked exactly like the captain lieutenant. And I gotta say, they better fucking explain how the hell they did that. I don't know if it's, my best guess is maybe some type of heat mirage. I don't think it's gonna be masks or disguises. It's gotta be some kind of fire manipulation. If they go with heat mirage, I get tons of points for being correct. But I gotta say, they have to fucking explain how they did that. Anyways, he decides to go out and check up on their alibi. They say they were at the general store, nowhere near what they were talking about. So he heads off, and we get a little bit of backstory between Benimaru and Conroe, and he's actually responsible for saving Benimaru's life back before they were even Fire Force soldiers. Like I said, I am so glad to have this series back. Today's episode was badass. I was not expecting a battle, but to come back after that hiatus and give us a badass one, seeing Benimaru take on the entirety of the 8th and basically win. If it wasn't for Conroe stepping in, he would have decimated everyone. And seeing Obi put up the best fight out of everyone, despite the fact that he does not have any freaking powers. I wouldn't call him OP, but he is definitely a badass. But after witnessing what the Whiteclads did in Asakusa, as well as having those tons and tons of jars of the infernal insects, I'm scared what we're gonna see next. I don't want to see any more hostilities between the 7th and 8th. I want them to figure everything out. I don't want to see any more casualties, but with all those insects, I have a bad feeling that we're just gonna get tons of infernals happening in this area, and I don't want to see that happening. So with both my anxiety and excitement peaked for next week's show, I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.